Hello, sir.
You welcome everybody in.
All right. Hello, everybody. Who's anybody that's possibly watching? I don't know yet. We're waiting for the.
Nobody. We ain't gotten a comment yet. Nobody said nothing.
Nobody's in. All
Nobody's
right.
here.
I should probably share this on my socials. What's up, everybody?
Well,
Which
it's
is
probably a
nobody
busy
yet.
day, which is nobody, but that's all right. We're just gonna roll into everything anyway. So
yeah, we perform for less.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Out on time.
Most of the time.
We try to be. We try to be. We run a tight-ish ship.
I mean, sometimes internet just goes like hooey for like both of the people who are doing a live stream, and then
oh my goodness! And then both your monitor cables break off at the same time. Two monitor cables snap off at the same
oh my goodness!
All right, now here we go. We got some people now. So we got some people's watching. We got Kathy. Hey, Kathy.
What's up, Kathy?
We got the Vinkman.
Hey, Vinkman.
That's Kirk, right?
No. Vinkman's Vinkman.
Man.
I don't know who he is. Other than Vinkman.
Good. I almost gave Kirk credit that he didn't deserve.
Kirk, no credit.
I deleted it quickly. Like, done.
Oh, more watching us as they're trickling in here, probably.
Okay.
Yep. People in the X. If you're on the X, say hello to us on the X. We'd love to see you there.
I don't know if Matt counts. Does Matt count if he's here on the show?
I have to throw you guys a comment.
Is that a
Hey, a watch is a watch. A watch is a
Matt?
watch. No,
I don't know if we
We'll
can
take
enter
it.
him for the raffle or not.
We'll see.
He's already a winner. He gets to spend time with us.
Mm-hmm. We are going
Exactly.
to be recording Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles episode 86 on this Doing It live or our live stream of it for everybody. So make sure you get into the chat because we will be giving something away. Is that right?
Absolutely.
The usuals? Okay. The usual.
The usual.
We'll be doing the usual. So if you get into the chat, say hello. We'll get your name in for the raffle at the end. So stick around for that as well. And yeah, that's about it. Not much to talk about.
Then let's do a show.
Then let's
Pat.
do it. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's get to it then.
Let's get to
Let's
it.
go.
We'll
Jason
start it
got
off.
married. That's all I got. He's
Yeah.
now Mr. Jason.
Well, now you took my surprise. I was going to share with everybody.
Oh,
You can't do a surprise once you did it on another show already.
That's fair.
But I guess we weren't live, but
But you
What
know
did he
me,
do it on?
I don't know how this all works.
it's a series of tubes.
It's a series of two.
It's a surprise if no one's ever heard it.
All right, everybody go back on mute. Forget what I said.
all right.
Yep. Forget that Jared said that Jason got married. Forget that. I'm going
Forget it. Well, it'll be edited out, so nobody will know anyway. Oh, wait. This is a live recording. Never mind. It's out there anyway. So we're going to start our live recording. Be in the chat to give us your comments. We want to hear from you and make you part of the show. We always like it. And don't forget the chat within the chat. That is a cool chat that goes on there too. So always a fun time. And I think with that, let's go ahead and just get right to it. We have a lot to talk about today. Well, we'll see. All right. With that, I'm going to start us off. 3, 2. You're listening to Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles episode 86, featuring Amazing Spider-Man number 230 and Uncanny X-Men number 159 from March and April of 1982. Hello and welcome to the 86th episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles podcast. I am your host, Pat, aka DJ Chris Statos. Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles is a podcast that will journal the Amazing Spider-Man comic book issues read chronologically. That's cromwell like that.
Absolutely.
In
Cromwell
order.
like that. Yep. Read comic book issues read chronologically by their release date, along with another comic from my comic book collection, either in digital, in a trade, or from the many long boxes stashed away in my basement. With big hands, and I do that because that's where I am. Each episode, we will provide short recaps, reviews, and ratings of the issue for that release date. The goal is to keep me actively reading through my collection and having some fun along the way, talking about them with my friends. And speaking about my friends, joining me is Jared Albert, a.k.a. Death Probe.
What's up, Pat? I've got my camera that's on my belt buckle, and it is shooting photos as we speak.
Which way is the lens facing?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I just want to know if we get, how much to charge for those.
Right. We'll
Just
see how they come out.
develop them yourself.
Juggernaut is a double entendre.
So we'll see. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, I don't know if I want to say I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see. We'll definitely find out. Let's go ahead and move on over to Delvin the Dark Web Williams.
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Delvin, how are you?
Not so good. Like, I got into a scrape yesterday, and then like my neck's kind of hurting, and been laying in bed a lot, and I just feel like I've gotten older. Like I just feel like I've just aged a bit. I did have a birthday. Also, I got bit by a vampire. So like it could be either or. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'll come back to you in about 3 days' time.
Okay. It's probably the birthday. Vampire. You think a vampire would make you? Yeah. You think a vampire would make you younger?
Delvin used to be the youngest of us, but he's had a birthday, so not anymore.
I'm still the youngest. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, belated birthday to you, Delvin. As we record, Delvin had a birthday this week, so earlier on. So everybody wish him a happy birthday. But we got some big news or some news. So let's go ahead and hear from.
What?
Man, it's big news. It's a surprise. See, well, I don't even know all of it, but let's go ahead and talk to Jason the Weasel Skull Albrecht. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Pat. 5 years ago, I was in a relationship, married to a woman who Lance abandoned me, man. Said, I'm going to walk. And I said, so walk, baby. I don't care. And then
he spun gold out of it. He spun gold out of it.
And then Carrie walked by and I was like, hey, baby, how you doing? And so, that's and then here we go. So 3 years later, we've been dating. Matt here, who's joined us today, has been trying to get me to go out to lunch with him, and I've been subtly blowing him off because in secret I was getting ready for this wedding, which actually took place on Friday, and we went and got hitched at the courthouse. Judge Mary Sue Wilson pronounced us husband and wife, and we are now a team. So her Crusaders Club member, she's Crusaders Club member Carrie, just in case anybody's wondering. And so she should really up her Crusaders Club, I think, donations to at least $10 a month, I think.
But as long as she still doesn't give you access to it now. Now that you're sharing, you can't share her account. Yeah,
that's true.
I'm gonna hold
Carrie
on.
has access to the account, and
He'd be like, "What's going on Patreon?" You're like, well,
I'm
not allowed to tell you
that. Yeah,
Laura's like, you do know you have a live stream today, right?
Laura.
So at any rate, that was my that's my big news. We are officially married. We're gonna have a celebration with some close family in September. We wanted to keep it small. We wanted to keep it keep it kind of low key, and mission accomplished, I think. So
yeah,
congratulations.
There it is. Congratulations on that. How exciting for you.
Thanks, Pat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, exciting. All right. Well, now that we got that big news out of the way, let's go ahead and talk to our bigger news, and that's our guest who's with us today is Matt Passo, a Crusaders Club member and friend of the LBC. Hi, Matt.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
We're doing good.
I appreciate you having me.
Great to have you here as well. We appreciate it. Having you on to talk some Spider-Man and some X-Men.
Wait, real quick, Matt. Did you get married and or have a birthday?
I got married like 20 years ago.
That's old
That
news.
counts.
Who cares?
He's had many birthdays between.
I got a birthday in like 3 months.
Why can't you have exciting news now? I mean, I thought that's why we had him on, Pat. Like you specifically said.
It's spring break, man. There was no news except resting. That was the news.
Oh, wait. There is some big news from Matt. Matt, you can tell and hear it in the smooth voice now. Matt got a new microphone. Big news for Matt.
Like,
he wanted to come on and tell us about
what are you
it.
talking about?
He's got a microphone. He's got a nice microphone now.
Fancy mic.
He's got a fancy mic now. So
do I get the fancy music like when Jared shows off like the hardbounds?
We'll see.
All right.
Don't push it, man. Don't push it.
All right. I'm not that fancy yet.
We'll maybe give you a pick from Jared.
We'll put it into committee. We'll put it in committee and see what happens.
You might get a free picture.
The fancy committee?
Yeah.
You
It has I'm the only member of it, but we'll see.
So wait, does that mean you're like the Princess Leia of the group, and then you're gonna go like, no, I'm not a committee?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Well, I think with that, we'll go ahead and start to move forward here. If you want to leave us a message and be a part of the show, go ahead and leave us a message that we will play later on in the show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That number again is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone. Jason's in the typing pool.
Now, before we get started with this episode's issues, let's take a quick podcast promo break, and we will be right back. Woo.
Shout out Ryan Daly in the chat.
Hey, Ryan.
Wishing Jason congrats.
That is awesome news, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. And thanks everybody in the chat. It means a lot to me.
Just a reminder, everybody in the
happy
chat.
birthday, Delvin.
Somebody go ahead and ban Kathy from the chat, please.
First, thank you, Matt, and thank you, Kathy, as well. Between that and always winning the karma count,
I'm gunning for your karma count streak today. Just saying.
I refuse. I'm abstaining.
I think I've got a good
shot.
Delvin just thinks he has the complete collection. He hasn't actually taken the Amazing Spider-Man 1 out of his frame and seen that I've replaced it with Archie Comics.
Right. It's like, wait a minute. Amazing Spider-Man doesn't start with a UH.
Now, I'm curious. Do you have Amazing Fantasy, or are you just saying Amazing Spider-Man?
Come on, man.
Don't hurt my feelings, Matt. No, I don't have Amazing Fantasy yet.
Okay, no.
I have some amazing fantasies if you'd like to hear them.
No, Jared. No.
The reason I ask is because I've got my complete Iron Man collection, and I've got a few Tales of Suspense, but I do not have that first.
Nice. Yeah, man, I'm going to get it one day. I don't know how.
Same.
I don't know if I'm going to have to, go off the grid for about 5 years or so, and then you're like, and there's a local bank that was robbed in Charlotte, and here's photos. It's like, I'm thinking.
It's clearly Delvin looking at the camera.
Like 6'3", black guys. Like,
at least I got my good side.
He'd put on a Spider-Man
got
mask.
His Longbox Crusade t-shirt. Well, we've narrowed it down to 4 guys.
Well, as soon as we know what was stolen, we'd be like,
I don't want to be an accomplice on that. I don't want to be in.
Yeah, I try to find some way to blame you. It's like, it's totally Pat. He's taller than he looks. On the camera.
I'll take the muscles, but oh man. All right, let's get going here. So everybody in the chat, go ahead and say hello in there. We can get you in on the list for the raffle at the end. And also would like your comments as we get to it. So I will leave, who's going to be the chat checker going around? Delvin? Yep. Cool. All right. Then I think with that, let's go ahead and get to it. Let me just set up the media thing here. Boop. All right. I got rid of, there you go. Thank you. Did it. All right. Coming back from the break. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the first featured comic for this episode. And it is Amazing Spider-Man 230. The credits for this issue are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics website. Publisher was Marvel. It's got a cover date of July 1982, but its on sale date was March 30th of 1982. So that means this was actually 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man released in March. We covered the first one last episode. Now we're covering the second one towards the end of the month in this episode, which is why our second featured comic will be from April. Cover price was 60 cents. Editor was Thomas P. DeFalco.
Superstar.
Writer is Roger Stern. Penciler is John Romita Jr. Inker is Jim Mooney. Letterer is Joseph Rosen. And the Color Me Bad colorist is Glennis Wee.
Just a sign of awesome things to come.
Yes.
Really.
Woo.
You can't have anybody other than Glennis color this issue, I don't think.
No, it's got to be her. This has been reprinted in several books out there. Sensational Spider-Man in Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut, #1 in 1989. Spider-Man Magazine #3.
Wait. When did the Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut #1 come out?
1989. Another summer. Get down.
Sound of the funky drummer. All right.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you for catching that. You can also find it in Backpack Marvel's Spider-Man trade paperback, Marvel Visions by John Romita Jr., Spider-Man The Gauntlet, Volume 4, hardcover, The Essential Spider-Man, Volume 10, Spider-Man Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut, hardcover, also the Spider-Man by Roger Stern Omnibus, and Marvel Masterworks Volume 293, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 22. As we can see on the cover, it is done by John Romita Jr. with inks by Alan Milgram. $10 Al. With that, we'll go to Jarrett for that cover description.
You got it. The Marvel Comics Group banner is yellow with black letters. Black like the heart of an evil woman trying to murder her husband. Spidey continues to sprint from his corner box, much like I'd sprint if my wife conspired with my doctor to murder me. The Amazing Spider-Man logo is red with yellow highlights with the webs, like the web of deceit that the wife and the doctor wove. The main action is a huge picture of Juggernaut's angry head as we see Spidey from the back, his spider sense is flaring, swinging towards the Juggernaut's enraged face. Perhaps he's angry at being poisoned. I don't know. A cover blurb reminds us the predicament that Peter is in. And it reads, to fight the unbeatable foe. Unbeatable like a wife determined to murder you. Back to you, Pat. And not a single one of you is going to get my reference to the 1936 movie starring Boris Karloff called Juggernaut.
I just thought Johanna was mad at you again.
I mean, there's certain parallels, but yeah.
I'm glad you said it up front because I was totally stumped.
No, I knew. I was like, I'm going to do this obscure thing based on the movie Juggernaut from 1936, and no one's going to get it.
Maybe Black Belt Chris.
Sure it was that or not like a message. Jared, blink twice if you need help.
I didn't see what he did he?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not paying attention. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to some quick cover thoughts, and we'll start with our guest, Matt. What's your thoughts on the cover?
I never realized Juggernaut was this big. I always thought he was like normal sized. That really threw me.
I
No.
think it's artistic license, Matt.
Oh, that makes so much more sense now. No,
I thought it was like a big screen, TV screen.
Oh, could be. No, I really like this cover. It is a great cover, and I tried my best to find this issue this week and could find it nowhere. Drove me crazy. One guy I saw, it's like, yes, oh, I would buy that if I saw the cover. And I'm like, yeah, I would buy it too if you had it here. They didn't.
Nothing can stop Matt's quest for the Juggernaut.
Yes, nothing.
Except this issue not being there.
Right. As long as you can't find it, nothing can stop it.
Unbeatably hard to find, really, for Matt. Let's go ahead and move on over to Jason. What's your thoughts on the cover?
I really dig this cover. Again, and Jared put it best, it's artistic license, but it really tells the tale of what's inside this book. It's Spider-Man going up against somebody that is way outside of his class in pure strength and invulnerability department. And it shows the challenge right here. As you all know, a good cover to me has to have a good villain on it. As an X-Men fan, you'd be hard pressed for me to find a villain better than Juggernaut to be in a Spider-Man book. So, spoiler alert, there'll probably be some high score for me on this one. And I just think it's beautifully rendered with the spider sense all flaring. And Spider-Man defiant, man. It's a real David and Goliath type of a look on this book. And it makes me want to pick it up and read it right away.
That's a good take on that David and Goliath kind of feel to it. I definitely get that vibe from it. Jared, do you get that kind of vibe from it?
Well, of course I do, Pat. I went to church today. So, yeah, we didn't cover that. But I do know the story. And, I hadn't thought of that, though. That's a good take from Jason. Somebody clip that audio and send it to Jason. He's going to want it. It's what gets me about it is I'm still not certain how they made this cover, because it's really bizarre line work that makes the Juggernaut. Almost like they ran it through some kind of a filter, or I don't know. Like, if that is legit hand done line work, I'm $10 owl needs to be $100 owl. That I don't know.
I don't know. I was going to ask you too.
Shh, don't say that too loud.
Reminds me of, and I'll go off on a little thing here. It reminds me of, remember when we were kids and you had that black paper in an art class and you would etch it?
You scrape it off. Yeah.
Doesn't it look like that?
Yeah, it does have that. Yeah, I'm not sure how it does look like that, Pat. Yes. I'm not 100% sure how they did it, but it's a neat effect because it makes the Juggernaut interesting, and then you lay the Spider-Man over it and he pops because he's in bright color, as opposed to the Juggernaut, which is done completely in black and white, which I guess I could have mentioned in my cover description. But yeah, it's very unique. It's very memorable. It's one of those covers that you can see from across the room and go, yeah, I know that story. I know that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't buy it if you're Matt Passo because you can't see it across the room because he can't find it. But here on Marvel Unlimited, which is how I read it, it was A-okay.
All right. Well, let's go to Delvin, the dark web. Delvin, share your thoughts and the thoughts of the people in the chat.
I haven't gotten a ton other than a rate. Well, no, that's not. Well, that's not true. Ryan Daly said, "This is my favorite Spidey cover I've seen today." And Auburn Kathy, really? MVP says, 9 for me. Took a minute to realize it was Juggernaut, and Spidey's rubbery-looking arms is the only negative for me. They're flexed arms, Kathy. They're flexed, not rubbery. Also, 9. Like, what show are you on? No, we're gonna have a talk about that later. But don't worry about it. Those are the comments, Pat. I remember getting this book at some point, and I looked at it, and it like had an $18 price tag on it, and I'm like, I don't know, $18 seems like a lot of money. Ha 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 ha. Ha and ha. What a foolish person I was back then. Anyways, this cover is awesome. Like, I remember it was a gap in my collection for a minute. I kind of hesitated because I didn't want to pay such a hefty price, such as $18 for a comic book. But, I eventually came out of it. And this cover is great. Like, Spider-Man is in a wonderful action pose, and it just looks like Juggernaut is about 100 feet tall, which, if you think about it, he may as well be, because you would think of something or someone 100 feet tall being completely invincible and unstoppable. And that absolutely is what John Romita Jr. was trying to portray here. It's a fantastic cover. It's like just simple. They just put a simple blurb in on about an unstoppable foe. If you are familiar with the X-Men, you would know that's Juggernaut immediately. If you're not familiar with X-Men, you would still look at it as like, whoa, who in the heck is Spider-Man fighting? And how in the heck is he going to beat him if he's unbeatable? So, like, works on a lot of levels for me.
All right. Yeah, definitely. It is an eye-catching one. I think Jared mentioned with the colors, having Spider-Man pop like that off of that black and white really is a cool effect. Even in the webs have a little red in it as well. I like that. Really cool. But let's go ahead and find out how we are going to rate it. On Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles, we rate the covers on a scale of 1 to 5. Our rating system is 5. You loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4. You really liked it.
Hold on.
I got distracted by.
All right.
I need to hear the
I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Ready?
I got distracted by Ryan Daly's wittiness in the chat.
Oh, Ryan.
The comment, since, people aren't going to be able to see this, if they didn't do a live stream, he says, that's Galactus's cousin, Jagactus. It's the cuss that makes them related. All right, go ahead, Pat.
I can definitely tell the difference there between, it's in the eyes. You can see the difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 5, you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, you didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers.
No.
Matt, on a 1 to 5, where would you rate this issue or cover?
Cover alone, I would definitely give this a 5 because, like Jason, I'm an X-Men fan. So you throw a good villain on there, I'm already intrigued. And then the art, the black and white of Juggernaut with like the color of Spidey popping out, it just draws you into it. So this gets a 5 for me all day long.
All right. Matt is setting the bar at a 5. We'll go to Jason. Are you with him or below?
I'm lockstep with him for all the reasons he said. If a 5 is what I'm going to hang on my wall, this would have to go up. As an X-Men fan and as a burgeoning Spider-Man fan, this book in itself has all the elements I love about Spider-Man in it, and this cover tells the story. And again, I just to highlight what Matt said, I really like that dichotomy between the darkness of Juggernaut and the brightness of light and hope that is Spider-Man heading towards him. I really like that.
Always deep thoughts from you, Jason. Always deep thoughts and deep words. Jared, are you with them on a 5?
I'm at a 4.5, Pat.
Okay. I think that's okay. Yeah.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. We're going to bury that idea in 40 feet of cement.
I'll tell you what, Pat, I really am on the fence on it. The only reason I may consider the 4 is because I just don't consider Juggernaut a Spider-Man villain. We may have mentioned that on the last cover. I can't remember. But it's such a unique look. Like the fact that I can't exactly figure out how they did it, I'll go ahead and bump it up. And even though I'm sad that we haven't covered an issue of Star Wars on Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles in a long time, I'm going to say it choked out my insolent coworker and give it a 5. Just bringing back some stuff that's
Yes,
been gone
bring
for a
back some
while.
old stuff. Yeah.
I see you trying to
Lobby. Yeah.
push for the Star
Yeah.
Wars in the next one, and I don't like it.
Okay.
Don't like it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to Delvin and our guests in the chat.
Hadn't gotten any comments yet about the rating other than Kathy's 9 for whatever reason. Pat, I have a question for you though.
Sure. Go ahead, Delvin. Yep.
What are you going to rate the cover?
Well, Delvin, I see the game you're trying to play.
You know what? How about this? I'll cut you off there. I'm not even hedging here. I was just curious because I wanted to be the one, to have the thunder, but I will give you, the gracious host and creator of Longbox Crusade, the opportunity to have the thunder of yourself, because I, Pat, am giving this cover a 5. It is fantastic. It's an awesome cover. I absolutely would put this on my wall. Heck, if I ever had, like, say, a comic book themed weight room or something, this cover would be magnificent for it. Just
yeah.
Love it.
Like lifting weights for fitness, or you're like a doctor and people are in the waiting room?
Yes.
All right.
Why not both?
Yeah. A big one too, like a big poster size.
Yeah, if you've been in the waiting room too long, like you're like,
The doctor's going to tell me I need to exercise anyway, so I may as well get after it.
I never skip neck day. Oh, well, Delvin, I appreciate you giving me the last vote on it. And you are right. I am going to say it's time for everybody to get up now, because it's a 5 for me. So that means 5 cool guys.
Woo!
And a 5. Woo!
Woo! Say yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm making it
Down
now.
now.
By the way, Vinkman agrees with us. He says covers a 5 for me. He knows what's up.
It is.
What's up?
I like it. It's very.
That's where we go walking dinosaurs now.
No.
Nope. Nope.
That's a force.
That's a force.
Oh,
Matt.
I want to change my vote for that. Everybody go back to 4. We got to walk dinosaurs.
No.
Trust us, in post, it'll sound good with the 5. Trust us.
We love the 5s.
And Ella
They're
could just
coming
join.
back too. They're coming back.
Hola, chola.
I'll let y'all know.
Hello. All right. Let's move it. All right. Well, with the cover rating out of the way, let's go ahead and move on over to Delvin with the story synopsis.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing I do.
Is it based off of the 1936 film Juggernaut with Boris Karloff?
Like when you said that, I was going to try and straight face. Dude, of course I've seen that, but no one would have fallen for it.
Nobody saw it but me.
It's like, no. I'm not buying that from you, Delvin. And that's fair. I would totally get that. Auburn Elvis. I got to write that name too. Welcome to the chat, Auburn Elvis. All right. So much stuff to do over here. We are ready. 3, 2, and the title of this issue is To Fight the Unbeatable Foe. Spidey is mad. Madam Web foretold an ominous? Let's try that again. Madam Web foretold an ominous threat that was going to attack her, and only Spidey could save her. That threat? The Juggernaut. And to Spidey's credit, he tried like only Spidey can do, but he failed because, well, Peter, he's a Juggernaut. Juggernaut is mad too. He stormed through half of New York to get this woman who was supposed to make Black Tom and him invincible. But when he went to get her and pulled her from this weirdo device, she went all, and so he walked away with nothing. So you see the conflict, right? Spidey vows to stop Juggernaut, and Juggernaut is just mad. In order to stop him, Spidey tries to fling a steel girder at him. Nope. Hurl a wrecking ball at him. Nope. The result of which collapsed the building on both of them. Nope. And then it then hits him with a gasoline truck. All together now? Nope. It did make Juggernaut madder though, and so the fight ends in a standstill when Spidey literally jumps onto Juggernaut, and while essentially blindfolded, leads Juggernaut into a ton of 40-foot deep wet cement. Does Juggernaut stop for good? Well, no. Still, Juggernaut did, well, no, he's still a Juggernaut bee, but Spidey did slow him down, right? Yeah, he absolutely did. Back to you, Pat.
Thank you, Delvin, for that story synopsis. I think it had something to do with the Juggernaut movie from
36.
36?
Nailed
Yeah,
it. Nailed it, Pat. That is absolutely every line in there reference from that movie.
Yes. I knew it. I knew I was getting that right. that
Boris
time.
Karloff was known for his famous line, "I'm the Juggernaut."
Right. That's where it comes from.
Yep. Spot on, Matt.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the bric-a-brac. It is a first read or a reread. Let's find out. Matt, first read or reread for you?
First read for me, actually.
Jason.
First read for me as well.
Jared. Oh, we're just right.
I warned you a long time ago. This is where my run starts. This is a reread of a bunch of Amazing Spider-Man comics that I acquired via a job I had in college, and that's all I'll say about that.
All right. Delvin.
I mean, Jared, like, I don't even know if we need to do this anymore. If you're just going to read about comic books you stole. I mean, that you procured at the job. Also, reread for me, Pat.
Ooh, two guys. All right. Well, it is a first read for me. So that's three cool guys that read it first. And
Finally get to be a cool guy.
Two chuckles. I'm going to give you guys chuckles this time.
All right.
Man,
Bunkies. Two bunkies.
Oh, man. Chuckles.
I'm demoting
Still
from
better than
chuckles, not a
Pork
bunkie.
Face, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was Delvin's birthday week, so I don't want to, I'm bum above Pork Face. With that, let's go ahead and get into some high, lows, or what does for this issue. We'll start with Matt. You got a high, low, or what the this first round?
My first high was actually watching everything that Spidey threw at the Juggernaut. Like Delvin mentioned them all. I had like gone through and made a list of them. Like, you have the girder, you have the wrecking ball, you've got toppling the building, you've got blowing up a gasoline tanker at him. And Spidey's like, I did it. No, I didn't. Okay, what about no? I this will definitely do it. Let me climb out. Hey, the other guy went that way. Oh, come on. Yeah,
Yep.
that was so much fun to read. I really enjoyed Peter's like multiple attempts and failing at it.
Yeah, he is definitely going through a lot of things at the Juggernaut, and just interesting to see what kind of what does stop him at the end. Well, I don't want to say stop him, but hold him up a little bit.
But I'll also say on that, like the one good thing about it being Pete being Spidey, you see him go to these lengths to not involve the public. He does everything he can to keep everybody safe. So that was really cool to like, yep, Spidey's like a street level hero that can really handle huge threats and still look out for the people around him.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
He even feels a little guilty in a couple, like with the truck. He's like, oh my God, what have I done? I killed him. And it's like, no, you didn't even phase him. He's still coming.
Yeah, he's right. Like, oh, I see him on fire. Well, crap. Okay, fine.
Yeah, he lit up that block or built that area there pretty big with that gas truck. Let's go to Jared. High, low, or what the?
I guess I got to give it a high just for being memorable, because I did read this circa 1998 for the first time and had a very good memory of what was going to happen. And I just think it's always fun, and you can't, run to this well too often, but it's always fun when our scrappy hero defeats someone in a clever way that's way above their weight class. Spider-Man will do it again. Delvin will remember better than me. I want to say somewhere in the 260s.
269.
Oh, look at me. I'm getting good at this. He's going to do it again later on in about 39 issues, and it's just as fun then. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about it.
Jason, high, low, or what the?
Big high just for Spider-Man in this. I dare anybody who's not a Spider-Man fan to pick this book up and not fall in love with him a little bit. I mean, Madam Web is a character that was introduced to us not too long ago. We still don't know a lot about her. We still don't know what her motivations are vis-a-vis Spider-Man. And still, he feels this obligation to defend her and to avenge her, which just really, to me, symbolizes everything that's good and caring about Spider-Man. He himself isn't really comfortable with her and her knowing his secret identity, but he's also a hero, and she needed him, and he feels as though he's failed her, and now he's going to bring this criminal to justice come hell or high water. And he goes through it in here. And at the end of the day, it's just his sheer will that gets him, that wins the day for him. And that's something that you just got to love. Like I said, dare you to pick this book up and not fall in love with this hero a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. This was definitely a good show for Spider-Man character-wise. Loved the action that was happening in it as well. Delvin, high, low, or what the?
Nothing but highs for this book. There was, and I'll parallel it to something that happened just recently in Spider-Man lore. I'm not fully caught up, about an issue or two behind. And at this point, Spider-Man's been around for about 20 years, and now he's been around for 60. To use Pat's language, can you believe it? So there's a recent storyline where he's having to take over these trials that the reigning Sorcerer Supreme normally would. It's not, and right now the current reigning Sorcerer Supreme in the Marvel Universe is Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom's like, I ain't doing that ish. And like made Spider-Man kind of his herald, sort of. And so one of the trials was you're like this one of the gods that he had to fight is that had to hold this orb. And her powers was just basically about hopelessness and inevitability, right? And so she showed him like the death of like people he cared about most, like Mary Jane. And then even got down to people like Norman Osborn and stuff like that. And he's like, okay. And like, he's not breaking. He won't break. And it got to a point where after an untold number of deaths that she showed Spider-Man, the goddess just gave up. And then actually in return wound up being motivated because Spider-Man wouldn't give up on it. And they said basically like, how many deaths did you show this guy? And she was like, it was like 3,100,000 something. Like he would not give up. He wouldn't. And that's the point. 40 years prior to that, we have this. Like he can't beat Juggernaut. He cannot. He literally threw the kitchen sink at this dude and cannot beat him and still didn't stop trying to the point where he literally jumps on his back and Juggernaut, as best as he can, is hitting him as hard as he can and Spider-Man will not let go. It's just canon defining. Like, I mean, if you want to talk about the reason that I love Peter Parker, why I love The Amazing Spider-Man, it's this. He never gives up. He never gives up hope. He does not stop fighting. And to me, just issues like this, absolutely canon defining.
Yeah. Some would say, Delvin, that he never gives up. He stays till the fight is won. Right?
I get you, G.I. Joe.
Spider-Man is there.
Yep.
I was going to say, watch out, baby, who's that? Don't look now, there's a Spidey on your back.
That's another good one, too. There you go. Oh, yeah. Well said there, Delvin. I think you really covered a lot of it in this one of what this issue was defining. Not only for the Juggernaut, his powers, what he can outtake, but like you said, too, just the what have you for Spider-Man just taking it on and continuing to do it. Let's go ahead and get into round 2. Matt, do you have a high, low, or what the for round 2?
You know, one thing that I do kind of like, Jared kind of mentioned like no real history between Juggernaut and Spider-Man, but like I remember like 90s story, like X-Force and Spider-Man fighting the Juggernaut and everything. So like seeing this was like a cool little history moment to me and getting to read that. And I'm like, oh, he did have like a really long history with the Juggernaut, which was really cool to see them bring up later on. So it was a cool issue to read, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, interesting to always, as we go through these, to see some of the history being told to us for the first time, maybe second time, but being able to kind of look back on the history and see where it's come to our current day of reading. Delvin or Jared, what you got, a high, low, or what the?
I've got a great high. I mean, we've waited a little while for some Lance Bannon comeuppance, haven't we? Like, watching Lance Bannon's train go off the tracks is highly entertaining. I especially love they're not letting any photographers in there. It's impossible. And Peter's like, hey, check out these pics, man. It was like, ooh. So not only is it fun, Delvin gave a great pulpit pounding speech about why Peter Parker's great with his no quit. Peter Parker is also great. It kind of like what I was talking about when he beats the unbeatable foe. He's often so smacked down by life. It's so great to see him pick up a W over somebody like that. So when he does get that win, it's like, yeah, Spidey or Peter, it's your day. So it was great to see Peter get those picks that no one else could get while Lance Bannon's life goes off the rails a bit. So, I mean, we shouldn't wish ill upon Lance, should we?
But, yes, we should. Yes, we should.
Or we're just bad people. But just like seeing old Pete pick up a W.
It's not like what's his name? Who took
Biff?
Yeah.
Press the ball, Petey.
That guy maybe. Lance.
Now Peter did that one to himself.
True that.
That's true. Let's go ahead and go to Jason. High, low, or what the?
Well, I'm going to throw out another high, and this time I'll look on the other side towards the villain and talk about the Juggernaut. In today's modern comics, Juggernaut's on the side of the Angels. He's part of the X-Men team. And it's interesting to go back here 60 years ago and take a look at how he kind of started out as on this villainous path. And I think he's just, I guess if I had to use a term over these last two issues that we've seen him, he's just apathetic. He just kind of is trudging through. If anything gets in his way, be it a tree or a bus or a building or a Spider-Man, he's just swatting it away or going through it. He goes to Madam Web, finds out the Madam Web solution isn't the solution that he and Black Tom were hoping, and just walks away and just leaves a mess in his wake. And I think that, there are a series of events that transform Juggernaut to where we see him here to where we see him now in the X-Men. And I think having a long time to sit in 40 feet of cement and think about things probably was step one in that transformation. And so it's just really interesting to see this villain, and the way that Roger Stern writes him, I think, is brilliant. It's not so much evil as it is just careless and apathetic.
Completely agree, Jason.
I'd almost say he's more like a force than evil. He's there and present.
I kind of want to know what's going on with Black Tom. We still don't know what his whole kind of plan was for it at all anyway. And does it even come out like later on in the next book?
It sort of did, Pat. Like basically he got this intel on, this chick that like, hey, if we get her, then I don't know if he knew about her powers of clairvoyance or not. I think he may have. It's like, if we get her, then it's going to make us an unbeatable team if we can get her on our side.
Okay.
Yeah, having somebody that could see the future was something that he was really interested in. And of course, we X-Men fans know Destiny's kind of like right around the corner. So all he really had to do was wait about, 15 issues or so. But he's impatient.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to Delvin. High, low, or what the?
I think we've covered most of it. I'll only speak to the accuracy of how Spidey at least was able to distract Juggernaut at the end. Like, if if you're a smaller opponent, if you get a bigger opponent's back, that's the best place for you to be. Think about it. Like, if I'm swinging at someone who's smaller and I connect it, like just a full force of a blow, chances are that person's going to be really hurt. That person's on my back. I can't really hit them as hard as I can. Like, you can get glancing blows on them, but you can't actually hit them. So if Juggernaut was able to land a hit on Spider-Man from the front, like, Spidey would be meat. He'd be pace. But for him, it shows Spidey's strength that he was able to jump on his back and stay on his back. And Juggernaut hitting him, as strong as he is, and Spider-Man was still able to withstand those blows. It was just an incredible thing to do. And I also think that just as far as a fight perspective goes, it was realistic. I wanted to read just a comment from Auburn Elvis, who said he wanted to give a shout to John Romita Jr.'s art. This was a period where JR was drawing like his dad, and it is amazing. So he just really, really liked that. And Ryan Daly says that Lance is the hero in this book. Well, he definitely has bounce back ability. That's for absolute certain. Because he's like, yeah, beat it. I'm over you. Hey, baby, how you doing over there in the typing pool? You good? You good? Oh, my name's Lance. It's nice to meet you. And let's see, is there any other comment? Venkman just added that Black Tom was interested in Madam Web because he was hoping to exploit her ability to foretell the future. That's all I got, Pat.
All right. I appreciate that. And I just want to, second what Auburn Elvis said about the artwork in this. Reading it through, the artwork was just awesome to look at. There's the big splash page of the tanker blowing up and just the action scenes that were in here. Oh, man. Panel layouts. Really done well. All right. Well, with that, does anybody have anything else? All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to find out what is your silly Spidey moment for this issue. We'll go ahead and go to Matt. Do you have a silly Spidey moment?
It's just the only thing that stood out to me is like you would think he would know how much web fluid he has.
Yeah, we lost you on that. Episode, right? Just your volume went down.
I'm wondering
if the gain knob on the back of your fancy mic needs to be turned up just a little.
Just a little bit, yeah, if it's further away from you.
What about that?
Give it another shot. Yeah, that sounds a little better. Go ahead.
I mean, for me, you would think Spidey knows how much web fluid he's got. That's kind of where I lean like, come on, Pete. You've done this for how many years now? You need to be better prepared.
Yeah, but how many times? Like, he's used to fighting Doc Ock or like the Lizard or something. He's not used to fighting basically the Hulk, I can forgive him for forgetting that he had his, like...
We had to use a lot more of it.
Yeah, he used all of it.
Yeah, so I get it.
He should get to the lab and start developing something more permanent.
We'll go ahead and go to Jarrett. You got a silly Spidey?
There's not a lot of silliness Spidey in this. It's more desperation Spidey, but I'm just going to go beat the same drum and just say I had a big smile on my face when Lance Bannon was like, I can't get no pictures. And Robbie Robertson's like, I got a good picture of Peter Parker. And he's like, what? And that made me happy.
That was a funny moment as well. Jason, you got a silly Spidey?
Yeah, we talked about it. It's when Lance Bannon comes into his workplace with his girlfriend on his arm, having a big bickering fight, breaks up with her, and just immediately heads to the typing pool to scout out who his next date's going to be. Boy, it was a different time, man. HR would definitely have something to say about that these days, but it was funny to watch.
Delvin, silly Spidey for you.
I did just think it was kind of funny, like towards the end, and Juggernaut was kind of like, "Yep, I'm gonna do you like I did last issue, like scrape you against the wall." And he was like, "Oh no, not again!"
That was my runner-up. Not again.
It just came across like I mean, like a bully, just like, okay, it's beat him up time. It's like, no, I can't do anything to defend it. For some reason, that was funny. And it was also funny on the next page where Juggernaut just so fed up with Peter. He was just like, you miserable little creep. Just like, you are annoying. I can't get rid of you. Why can't I? You're just this little bug. So both of those are good for me.
That was a good one as well, too. I just had a quick little one for my silly Spidey. Is he didn't really do much name calling. So I was, like Jared said, it's like, oh, man, I like that stuff. But I found it funny when the guy, he grabbed the truck driver and he grabbed the crowbar or that device from him. And the guy's like, well, I read in the Bugle that you're a menace and you're a big creep. And Spider-Man just grabs the crowbar from him. It says, you can read? What a surprise.
That was a good one.
I was like, it's kind of quick whip, a quick Spider-Man thing, just and just grab that and just kept going. But, I think when we go through these with the action and all that going on, we don't see a lot of silliness somewhat, but which is okay. All around, still a fine looking book. Let's go ahead and figure out how fine it is as we go into ratings. Again, on a scale of 1 to 5, we'll rate this issue. 5 is you loved it. It tickled your tummy feathers. 4, you really liked it. 3, liked it. 2, didn't like it. And 1, you hated it. It ruffled your tummy feathers.
Tashi Station's out of power converters.
Stop it.
Matt, 1 through 5.
You know what? This story easily gets a 5 for me. Just hands down, great action, great story, and shows how much of a hero and how much no give up Spidey has in him.
That is starting us off high at a 5 with Matt. We'll go to Jarrett. Are you going to join him?
Yep, absolutely. 5. So memorable, so much fun, very Peter Parker defining, which was what Matt was saying.
We'll go ahead and go to Jason. 1 through 5.
I'm going to keep the 5 train rolling.
There, toot on the 5 train. And since Delvin let me go first this last time, I am going to go now. Or let me go last. I'm going to go first now and give him the last word. So I will also be at a 5, waiting to hear what Delvin is going to rate it.
You're such a gracious host, Pat. But first, we got some comments. Venkman says, this issue's fight was a continuation from 229, where Spider-Man used a ton of webbing trying to stop the Juggernaut. Spidey ran out of webbing because he literally exhausted his entire supply, and then said, this is absolutely a 5 for me. After some shenanigans, Auburn Elvis said that he gave the cover a 5 and wanted us to give it up for Glennis Ween. Trust us, we have. Ryan Daly said, Lance would have known how much web fluid he had. Just saying. Your committal to the bit is noted, Ryan. And then Auburn Elvis with a ridiculous question says, do you think Black Tom's boat is as nice as Peter Corbeau's boat?
No, not even.
No.
Peter Corbeau laughs.
I
mean,
Tom's boat.
Peter Corbeau's got.
That's
Actually,
like
I don't know anything about him, but he's got a good boat.
Just something about him. He has good boat face, right?
Shows up everywhere.
And shows up here like in space. What's up, guys? And just chilling in space.
He's on his boat.
Wow.
Space boat. Yeah.
How can you afford that? Anyway, enough of Peter Corbeau's awesomeness. Let's get back to this book's awesomeness. Of course, Pat. Everybody get up. It is a 5.
Woo,
Come on. Absolutely.
Ooh, everybody get up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And Delvin,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to bury an MFer in some cement.
sometimes, man. Sometimes. I love the creativeness of that solution. Like, whoever thought of that, if it was Roger Stern, it was fantastic. It was so well set up.
It's
like,
surprised too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Because like if you were to answer the question, how in the heck is Peter going to be able to stop the Juggernaut? That would be it. Like,
I have a next question then. I'm glad you mentioned that, and I want to make this longer and harder for Pat to edit.
Thank you.
Does Juggernaut's powers based on momentum? Like, does he have to get going? I thought I read that back when I was a kid, but it might have been. You never know.
The answer is yes.
Okay, so if he's able to slow the momentum to a dead stop in that concrete, it's gonna be so hard for him to get any energy going.
Yeah, if you can stop
Like
him from ever moving, then you can stop him, because he's like one of his things is once he gets going, nothing can stop him from moving forward. The solution is to keep him from ever moving forward, if that's possible.
Way to go, Roger Stern. Very clever.
Yeah. Very cool. We're learning something new here. And speaking about learning something new, let's go ahead and get into the karma count for this issue. We'll go ahead and do a quick round. Guess your karma count, and we'll see who is right at the end. We'll go reverse. Delvin, give us a karma count. Your guess.
I mean, the champ should not have to go first, but you know,
it's my show, Delvin.
Fine. I don't think he got a win, which was impressive, but there was a lot of property damage, even though it wasn't to anything consequential. This is a tough one. I'm gonna say 25.
All right. Delvin is starting us off at a 25. Matt?
5.
5. Okay.
5.
Jason?
I'm with Delvin. This is a tough one. That it is a ton of damage there, but most of the damage was to buildings that were going to be destroyed anyway. I see Delvin's got his finger up. I think he wants to say something. Go ahead.
I do. I want to change my score.
No.
I can. Like, don't you know me?
No.
Wait, you said you weren't even going to play. I am changing my score. I'm not listening to
you. Can't wait for other people to give scores.
Auburn Nova, this is your game. Can you change the score or not?
Off of any other score, then anyone else can have the right to change their score. Fine. I don't care.
Can I change mine after it's announced?
Yes, please do. I'm up.
Auburn Nova says it's his birthday, so he gets to change his score, I guess.
Ha, Jared, and ha. I'm upping my score to a 40.
40. All right.
And to answer your question, I've thought long and hard about it. Not only did he beat somebody that way outclassed him as far as strength, he also got those pictures that nobody else could do. So that was something else as well. And he made sure that Madam Webb survived. So that was and got her. Made sure she got to the hospital, went and checked on her. I'm gonna be heavy. I'm going 70 karma points for this book.
70 points. Ooh.
70
2 words.
Points.
Attempted murder.
What do you mean attempted murder?
Burying someone in concrete.
Oh, well, you know.
That's behind that.
What did I just say? Sometimes you got to bury an MFer in 40 feet of concrete.
Jarrett, since are you on strike? You don't want to give a karma count?
What? Sorry.
Oh, no, wait. I changed my mind. I just remembered something. Oh, crap. This is crap. It's in collusion, cheating.
Oh, my God. Jay
We'll see.
Jay Jarrett Jameson over there.
Now, did everybody go? Because I want to change my numbers now. Ridiculous. Jason, what did you give the score?
I gave it a 70. I never win this thing.
75.
Anyway, so.
75. All right.
Here we go.
And I will give it a 30. Just because I don't know. I don't know where we're going to fall on this, but let's go ahead and find out with karma count.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Hi Crusaders, this is fan of the show Auburn Elvis. Have you ever asked yourself if superheroes can improve their strength by working out? Well, according to the 1984 Marvel superhero role-playing game, they can, but it ain't easy. In the game, heroes gain and lose karma for how heroic their actions are. Karma can be saved up over time and spent to improve a hero's abilities. Improving an ability costs 10 times its current score, so if Spider-Man wanted to improve his strength of a 40 to a 41, it would cost him 400 karma. And to give you an idea of how long it would take Spidey to earn that much karma, here's a karma count for his actions in this issue. Amazing Spider-Man 230 begins with Spidey determined to stop the Juggernaut after successfully getting Madam Web to the hospital. He got the karma for that rescue in the last issue, so no double dipping here. Once Spidey gets to the west side of town, he begins a series of attempts at stopping his unstoppable foe. We won't take off any points for Spidey's failure to read any of the X-Men comics that would have let him know that none of these stunts were going to work. But we will give him 10 karma for using Juggernaut to safely demolish the abandoned Hotel Schlitz building. But we're going to take away 5 karma for the property destruction of the equipment that got buried under all those bricks. Spidey will also get a 5-point role-playing bonus for how he handled the Roxxon oil truck driver, but he will lose the 5 karma right back when he destroys the truck in another futile attack on his mutant foe. Finally, Spidey resorts to his greatest superpower, his ability to get the crap beaten out of him. Fortunately, this causes his distracted foe to stumble into the wet concrete foundation, thus defeating the Juggernaut and earning 100 karma for beating an unearthly foe. Also, this victory is so historic, I'm going to award an additional 50 karma just because people are still bringing this victory up decades later as an example of what a hero Spider-Man is. And I'm not even going to deduct a penalty for the property damage that comes from having a constantly thrashing around supervillain embedded in the building foundation. That's a karma deduction that the construction foreman is going to have to eat. The issue even ends with Peter getting 10 more karma for fulfilling a pair of personal commitments with his great action photos that he sold to the Bugle and another nice visit to Madam Web in the hospital. So counting everything up, Spider-Man gets a total of 165 karma in this issue. And if he were to get a once-in-a-lifetime victory like this just 2 more times, he'd earn enough karma to improve his strength from a 40 to a 41. I'm Auburn Elvis. I thank you very much for listening to this karma count. Play us some of those crowbar-bending jams, Joe November.
I guess I'm your karma, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. There's nothing above it.
Making a note for issue 269.
Congratulations, Jason. Like, just gave
your
score, your score, didn't whine, didn't go on strike,
didn't make up his own rules,
like some younger brothers,
like some people.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I should have been more ambitious, I guess.
All right, so guys, all jokes aside,
completely undersold that.
All jokes aside, and Elvis cheating. I think we got to tap into how excited Auburn Elvis is to read the issue. I think there's a factor in there.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to give him 20 karma points just for his excitement in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to be about this issue.
Yeah.
I think he mentioned in the chat that something like he'll bust out like a month later. And then I don't think he was making a joke, but does anybody know if we get to see him bust out? Does he tell the tale of it? What book does it happen in? X-Men, Spider-Man?
I do not remember.
Maybe Auburn Elvis does know legit, and he can tell us in chat, or any of our smart chat folks, or even if you're not smart chat folk and you know, you can tell. Wait,
definitely. Go ahead and tell us.
See him bust out? Is it told off panel, or is it maybe never referenced again? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't read 231, so like we will find out I'll find out if it happened in 231, like along with everyone else.
Well, Auburn Elvis says it happens in another comic. Auburn Elvis says it happened in another comic. I like to think it was like he said there was like a guy working on the foundation. He's like, oh, we got to crack off this corner. It didn't pour right. Oh, what the what?
Well, they did say that, the police has got to get him or wait until get him out of there to then for whatever other.
Yeah, basically, like you have to have the Avengers on hand once you get him out of there.
Yeah, to get him in captivity again. But
the Great Lakes Avengers show up to just wait at that street corner for like 6 months.
We'll find out. Yeah, interesting thought.
Fun shenanigans on this one.
All right. Well, if we would definitely like to hear from everybody else that was in the chat that listened to us in podcast form, go ahead and make sure to make a comment in the post where this is so we can have some conversation with you. We love it and we want to see that community grow. So let us know. Did we miss something? Do you know what issue it is? Put it in that post. We would love to get that conversation continuing with you there. But until then, let's go ahead and take a quick podcast promo break, and we will be right back.
Keep it going. I'll be right back.
All right. Here we go.
I got to separate real quick, too. I'll be right back, guys.
All right, you might as well put a pause on it, Vant, for time, because I left my drink in the other room.
All right.
Sing a
Jason-
song.
Jason, you got to go
Sing a
too?
song to the group.
Well,
Just start.
I
Like,
will.
do the first couple lyrics to any 80s song, and Jason will go, and that'll buy us a good 4 minutes.
Oh, no, okay. So it looks like everybody's leaving except for me. So it's just us guys. Everybody out there watching, thank you for watching. We really do appreciate it. I am going to change this around. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and get the chat. We do appreciate you guys watching along with us. Make sure you get into the chat, or even if you're on the X, comment there as well too, so we can see you out there. How do I make my... Oop, I'm behind this now. Whoa, what's going on? And that way you can get into the chat. And I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm trying to get rid of this from my face. Where is it? I have to get rid of this background here.
There we go. I'm back.
You're back. I'm trying to get rid of the background and I can't find it now.
I can get it for you. I can get it. It's an overlay.
Oh, overlay. There you go.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll go back to getting everybody on screen.
The second half of this episode is brought to you by Sunkissed Orange Zero Sugar. It goes down smooth.
I haven't been
It
looking
was
at
on
it yet.
sale.
That's actually pretty good.
It is, yeah. I believe I've seen at the convention circuit Captivating Kathy Bright drink. I think this is her brand. I think she's a Sunkissed Zero Sugar gal.
Oh, yeah. I did have a good time, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan was gracious enough to answer a text that I had out to him of going to Canada, and he gave me some tips and tricks, and everything worked out
Nice.
great. So thank you, Ryan.
Ryan is supposed to come down to the Temple of Longbox this week.
Oh, nice.
We'll be talking some Indiana Jones. Hopefully, everything works out for both of us. Looks like it will.
We got Jim in the chat as well. Hey, Jim, thanks for joining us.
What up, Jim?
Chola is there too. All right. I think we're all set for Jason, but
Yeah.
we'll go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't add a lot.
Yeah. He works on the guidance system.
He's on the guidance. Oh, man. He can't break our codes.
You can't even remember. Where's the on switch? I can't find the on switch. Oh. All right, we're going to get it started. Here we go. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the second featured comic for this episode, which is determined by our Crusader Club members. Club members get, well, I'm going to rephrase that. Welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the second featured comic for this episode, which is normally determined by our Crusader Club members, where those club members get to vote on this segment using the online poll only available on the Longbox Crusade page at patreon.com. As always, we do want to thank our Crusader Club members for voting to help determining that part of the show. But unfortunately for this, as I mentioned earlier on, because Spider-Man was released twice in March, there was nothing in April. So we just went ahead and chose Jarrett's favorite comic to cover, The Uncanny X-Men.
Woo!
When we did it to spite him.
Woo.
So thank you for the Longbox Crusade crew for doing that. Because we all voted behind the scenes, Jarrett, and we said, yeah, let's stick
I know.
Yeah.
I get what I deserve.
Yeah. But you too can be a part of ongoing the next coming issues as well too by going to patreon.com and searching for Longbox Crusade. There you can join for as little as $1 a month and help determine what each episode's feature will be for the upcoming episodes. With that, let's go ahead and go to the second featured, which is amazing. Well, no, it's not amazing. Which is Uncanny X-Men 159. The credits for this issue, again, are provided by Mike's Amazing World of Comics website. Publisher was Marvel. It's got a cover date of July 1982, but its on sale date was April 6th of 1982. Cover price is 60 cents. Editor was Luis Simonson. Writer is Chris S. Claremont.
Esquire.
There you go.
There you go. Penciler is Bill Sienkiewicz. Or no,
Sinkovich.
Sienkiewicz, yeah.
Sienkiewicz.
Somebody even wrote it in there. So the penciler is Bill Sienkiewicz. Inker is Bob Wycheck. Letterer is Tom Orjakowski. And the Color Me Bad colorist again is Glennis Weed. Woo!
Double dose.
Double
Double
weed.
dose.
What do we do to deserve this?
Wow.
What a treat.
This is reprinted in X-Men Classic 63. You can also find it in Essential X-Men Volume 3 trade paperback, or the X-Men Curse of the Mutants, X-Men versus Vampires. You can also find it in Marvel Masterworks Volume 151, Uncanny X-Men Volume 7, or the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3. It's also in X-Men Epic Collection, The Brood Saga trade paperback. Cover credits go to artist Bill Sienkiewicz. And speaking about that cover, Jared, give us a cover description.
Yes, sir. The Marvel Comics group banner is black like the inside of a coffin and has yellow letters. The X-Men continue to burst through their corner box like children of the night. The Uncanny X-Men logo is white like perfectly white, sharp teeth with purple highlights. The main action is Sienkiewicz doing Sienkiewicz things in the background with an interesting colors-only rendition of a female vampire. Know what I mean? 4 members of the team cower in the bottom right corner. It's Colossus, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and the Bella of the Ball, Kitty Pryde. It's another 30s movie, but you guys probably know this one.
Dracula?
That would be Dracula.
It's
sir.
Dracula, yes.
Yeah.
I even squeezed a Bella for Bella Lugosi in there. I was proud of that.
Oh, I thought you meant Bella from Twilight.
Well, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, the two of you out of here.
Sorry.
The Mina was a nice touch.
Yeah, the mean that was good.
Thank you. Hey, fun fact about that. In 1931, when they shot the very famous Bela Lugosi one, not a lot of people know. More and more people are finding out, though, but like they shot a Spanish version at the same time with a different lead actor using all the sets, and like they'd shoot the English set and then they'd shoot the Spanish one. But somehow the Spanish movie ended up being 20 minutes longer than the English one, and I still can't figure that out. But I got to sit down and really watch the Spanish version, which I do have. But yeah, they film the scene and then bring in the new actors and film it again for the Spanish version. It was weird.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Smart. I mean, interesting.
Yeah, economical as heck. Yeah,
Oh.
but yeah, they released it in Mexico and did well, and yeah, fascinating.
Cool fun facts there from Jared. Let's go ahead and get to find out what our thoughts are on the cover, and we'll go back to Matt. What's your thoughts?
The thoughts on this one is, again, another great cover. The art is fantastic. The coloring on the back with Storm popping through as a vampire just nails what is coming in this issue. And when I looked up and saw what it was about, I was sold immediately when you guys asked me if I could join with this.
That's great to hear. Let's go ahead and go to Jason.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Sienkiewicz cover. This is the first Sienkiewicz I think we've seen in the X-Men. I'm more familiar with his more avant-garde, I don't know if that's the right word, work that he did in New Mutants with like Warlock and stuff. And this looks a little bit more conventional, which I think actually looks pretty good. I agree with what Matt says. I really like that vampire storm in the background and the way that it's done very kind of subtly. And then you also have the shadow of Storm behind the cowering X-Men team in the foreground there, which adds another little layer of ominous to the cover and suggests what's in there. So a very interesting cover, different than what we've looked at so far.
Definitely. I like that, how that shadow is kind of just, portraying from that angle of them cowering like that. Jared, what's your thoughts?
Man, I got to start my thoughts just talking about Bill Sienkiewicz in general. Like Jason said, when he kind of does more traditional stuff, he's really good. But he's just that guy that has to let that art piece that lives inside him out. And sometimes it works to great effect. And I mean, he's more of an artist I'm ever going to be. Sometimes I look at it and go, I don't know what you're doing. Really, it can be all over the place, but no one can deny he is a creative cat. And looking at this cover really makes me feel like, he's in the editor's room. They're like, all right, Bill, you're on this issue, and go ahead and turn the cover. He's like, I wanted to ramp it up to 11. Like maybe a 6, Bill. I could crank this up to an 11. He's like, we'll give you a 7, maybe tops, And somewhere in there is Bill's perfect balance. And this is very near there because you have his good traditional stuff. Everyone looks frightened and fearful. I'm glad Jason, I was trying for the longest time to figure out what that shadow was. Now you got it for me. It's Storm. I recognize the headpiece now. The only thing I don't like about it, quote unquote, don't like, it's still a pretty good cover, is it's like, what's with the whole like image off to the right? Like there's an entire black bar down the left that it feels unbalanced. Like I don't know. I mean, it's still good stuff. I love how he carries the flame from the eyes through the black bar. So that if it had cut off there, I would have thought it was a printing error, to be honest with you. But it's not, and it's Sienkiewicz, so it's gonna get people talking, and here we are.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too, that black bar on, below the corner box there.
The way the floor slopes, it feels like an open doorway to me a little bit.
Or that space might be to advertise a 10-speed bike. We'll have to check with Jason on that. I don't know.
Let's go ahead and go to Delvin. What's your thoughts?
I agree largely with Jared. When I first looked at the cover, I didn't quite know what was going on in the background. And for whatever reason, it looks like the shadow, if you look over Colossus's shoulder, like that's Storm also, but Storm in the shadows. So
yeah, that's what Jason was saying.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see, that they did another take of Storm. And even though it's really interesting to look at, the orange and the yellow. And that's why, I mean, it's very well done, but I would have thought that it would have been better served if they would have done like an image of Dracula, since, like, because you already got Storm like in the shadows or whatever. Or maybe even like Storm being seduced by Dracula.
Yes. Like a sexy Storm with Dracula about to bite her in the neck. Oh my God.
Like draped over, like
something of the sort,
sexy Storm as if there's another version.
Right. Yeah, even half of Storm is anyway. So I think it is a good cover. Like, I mean, all of the X-Men are drawn well. Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Kitty, and Colossus as well. And showing them, just recoiling in terror, which also just gives you an idea of the threat level of what is going on. Real quick, Ryan Daly says, this is my favorite era of the Sienkiewicz era, where he drew more like Neil Adams with rough edges. His later crazy conceptual style is striking and unique, but not my preference. So he agrees largely with Jared on that.
Yeah.
And just real quick, Auburn Elvis also says, I think the black bar is a door opening.
It's 2 votes for door.
Yeah. Or some sort of a room, I'm thinking.
You can advertise a 10-speed bike there.
Yeah, there's definitely room for that as well. I like how the orange and the yellow and all the red, all that kind of pops off. I think the coloring is
Yeah, I'd be
really.
interested to see how he did that too, because you see, there's no inked line work there.
No, it's all the dots. The
Yeah, it's like all done with almost like with coloring, which means whoever colored it was like heavily involved.
mhm.
And then when I, read it in the essentials, it's done in like a grayscale, so almost like someone just kind of
okay.
like scanned it, because like I don't think you can go back to the original line work, because again, there's no line work. So I'm sorry to geek out, like just the process of
No, it's
whenever I
awesome.
see
No.
one and I'm like, I'm not quite sure how they did that. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, no, that's good. They're good to see because that means they're doing something different than what we're normally seeing. So it becomes eye catching to us.
Gotta give it up to Harvard Elvis in the chat for riffing on the Dracula. Black bar is probably better defined in the Spanish version of this cover. Throwback jokes. Good job.
Oh, in the bits with the bits. There we go. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the cover ratings for this issue. On this, with the X-Men, we cover it through a 1 through 5. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from.
Woo!
4, you really liked it.
Woo!
3, you liked it.
Woo!
2, didn't like it.
Hey.
And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby. Matt, 1 through 5 for this cover.
You guys picked a couple winners today, so this one gets a 5 for the cover for me. It strikes on both X-Men and you've got the horror that I love. So
I figured you were. Once I saw this, I'm like, okay, I
5.
think Matt's going to like this one. This and the story he's going to like. Let's go ahead, Jason, 1 through 5.
There's going to be a little bit of separation here. I think I'm at a 3 on it. And part of it's probably me. I've kind of been spoiled and I've been groomed to the Byrne and the Cockrum covers. And so this is a bit of a departure. And I just, on my covers, I want to see my heroes being heroic, and to see them cowering in that fashion is something it's just not my preference. Having said that, it's still well drawn, pretty well laid out, and interesting enough to grab me and say, I wonder what's going on in here. So 3 for me.
All right. We have a 5 and a 3. Jarrett, are you in between or with one of those?
Yeah, I am going to land on a 4 just because I largely agree with Ryan Daly's comments about sort of the Neil Adams vibe with the Sienkiewicz creativity. Like I said, sometimes there's a really good blend, and I think this is that time. So I will give it a 4. Also factoring in that this is Sienkiewicz creativity in 1982, which means like we really haven't seen this before, in 82. So I'm going to give it the little slight bump up for that factor, and I will give it a 4. But also, like Ryan said, there's Sienkiewicz stuff that I'd probably give a 1 to. There's stuff I'd give a 5 to. That dude is all over the place. It just, but again, can't fault a guy for when you see it, you go, I know who drew that.
Yeah,
something to be said for that.
Definitely. I am going to be at a 4 with you as well. So far we got 2 cool guys at a 4. Let's go to Delvin to see where he will be.
Auburn Elvis gave it a solid 3. Ryan Daly gave it a 4 and said attention grabbing color and effect with Aurorocula in the background. I'm just proud that I pronounced that correctly the first time. And I like the skewed angle point of view. We call it rakish around here, Ryan, but you're forgiven. And I will give it a 4. I think it's good. It's striking. It stands out. And this is a guest penciler for X-Men Below. I got getting more into that when we talk about the book itself, but I think it's a very good cover and it's striking.
All right, we have 3 cool guys at F4 and 1 guy at a 5, and Jason the chump all by himself. Oh.
How did I get to jump?
Low man gets a chump.
It's all the work he's done on the guidance system, you'd think.
Yeah.
We're scattered to chump islands. That's just how it goes.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the story synopsis. And that's from Jason.
Thank you, Pat. The title is Night Screams. On a rare break between crises, the X-Men are taking a break to the big city. Kitty is going to visit her parents, and the rest of the team are popping in for a surprise visit to their old friend Misty Knight. As the saying goes, however, there's simply no rest for the weary. While accompanying Kitty to her parents' home, Storm is attacked upon her return. Apparently the victim of a common mugging, Aurora is hospitalized due to blood loss from a throat wound. When she fails to get better and develops a revulsion to sunlight, Kitty deduces that she has become a victim to the dreaded creature of the night, Dracula. The team throws their full array of powers against their dreaded foe, all to no avail. Eventually, Kitty forces a nearly turned Aurora to make a choice: reject Dracula's seduction or kill her. Storm succeeds in resisting the creature's spell, and Dracula leaves, having found a deep respect for Storm's will and dim thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jason, for that story synopsis. Let's get to the bric-a-brac for this issue. Is it a first read or a reread? Let's go to Matt. First read or reread?
This was actually a first read for me.
All right. Delvin.
Also a first read for me, Pat.
Jason.
Surprisingly, I did not have it in my collection, and it is a first read for me as well.
Jared.
First read, Pat.
Oh, it's a first read for me too. Woo! You know what that means?
Rainbow.
Gotta read Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
Love it. Oh, man. Awesome. Let's keep that awesomeness going with some high lows or what does. Matt, what do you got for round one?
You know, definitely have a high first, and it's probably going to be one that nobody else will touch on. For me, I was so happy to see Havoc mentioned in this story. Havoc is by far probably in my top 3 X-Men characters. So to see the little bit of Summers for like probably about a page and a half was a really cool little treat in the midst of this fantastic story. So that was a definite high for me.
It was cool to see him, and then just the playfulness that him and Cyclops had together, where we'll see you powers and you can, do with what you can with your new powers, or, with your power or training of your powers that he was doing, and just kind of fun they were kind of having around. So cool to see.
Yeah, I definitely love when you get a little playful interaction between the two brothers who didn't really get a chance to be brothers.
Yeah, I like that part. Let's go ahead to Jason. High, low, or what the?
I'm going to start this off, unfortunately, with a bit of a low. I think when you have a villain as powerful and as iconic as Dracula, like, there should be a better fleshed out story. This seemed a little disjointed and forced to me. Like, they tried to cram a lot of stuff into one issue. Almost like, hey, this is just a filler issue. And man, again, if you're going to have somebody as cool as Dracula taking on a team as cool as the X-Men, I would like it fleshed out just a little bit more.
It made me wonder, after reading this, like, did they just do this to kind of keep Dracula in the Marvel, protection, I guess, or something like that? Maybe. Jared, what do you think?
Well, Jason saved me from having to use a low, so that's good. You know me, Pat. I like bonkers movie monster stuff mixed with my stuff,
Yeah. Was
I
this
like
bonkers
that.
enough for you?
Yeah, remember how at the end of last episode of we were talking, I noticed it said coming up next was Dracula, and I was like, oh, that's, okay. And while I really enjoyed it overall. I have to agree with Jason. It just reeked of filler issue. I mean, it was like guest artist, a one and done. But there was a lot to like because I mean, I love the concept of the X-Men fighting Dracula, and they made Dracula very tough, you know, and formidable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll have to tack on to ending this with a low. I will join Jason, but I promise to have high in round 2 because I do love the concept and it wasn't bad executed. But the biggest low to tack on to Jason's, like, this kind of ended up feeling like a filler issue, which I agree. It should have had a bigger stakes type of thing. Would be like, it was almost like they were running out of page and like, well, running out of pages here, and
we gotta end it.
Aurora is still a vampire. How's she going to get out of that? Power of love. What?
Mhm.
What?
Yep.
What? Now, on the flip side of that, I know I'm going long here, but on the flip side of that, if they're like, you know, she, you know, used her inner strength to overcome the vampirism. Okay, whatever. That's not my cup of tea, but okay. They did kind of plant that seed. Like, is it still in her blood?
Yeah.
You know, can she, will the siren song of vampirism return? And they kind of planted the seed that could happen. I was like, oh, that'd be very interesting to revisit. Like, a Marvel writer today could go back to this issue and go, oh, I can do something with this. Absolutely could. I just don't think they ever did.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. That possibility could possibly be around. We'll have to ask our people out there. Let us know if it comes back around. Maybe
I can tell you Dracula comes back in an X-Men annual.
Ooh.
And Vampire Storm shows up in Mutant X in like the Havoc off-branch series.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I take
Mutant
back.
X.
Wait, okay, but I'll ask for Jarrett. Is it sexy?
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has.
Aurora.
It's Aurora, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Mutant X. The series was Mutant X, and I think she was called Bloodstorm.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, that sounds right.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, good name too. Interesting. Delvin, high, low, or what the?
Auburn Elvis pointed out in the chat, the writing above page 1 isn't a synopsis of the X-Men or who the X-Men are that we typically see. As a synopsis of why they're busting into Misty Knight's apartment. So I did not catch that upon my read, but it's absolutely true. Ryan Daly says, I think this was Dracula's first appearance since the end of the 6-issue black and white magazine format, Tomb of Dracula magazine that followed the Tomb of Dracula comic book. It was only about 2 or 3 years since the end of Tomb of Dracula. So good bit of trivia from Ryan.
Makes me think that Pat might be right. They might have been like, hey, TikTok, if we don't use them within X amount of years, then.
Yeah. I was wondering that, and I'm glad that Ryan was here to kind of give that information. So thank you, Ryan.
And so as far as my comments, like, I'm going to give it, well, my first high, since I said I would mention it, was I just wonder, like, I mean, I understand that at this time that Uncanny X-Men was soaring as a book, and it soared for a while. But how lucky are you as Chris Claremont, where you got Dave Cockrum that's like, man, I need a break. You know, it's like, okay, I hate to do that, you know, but I guess we're going to have to, like, get a fill-in artist. Who's going to be my fill-in artist? Bill Sienkiewicz, another freaking comic book legend. Like, he can't get a bad artist on this book. I think before they did a filler with, was it Man-Thing? And it was like Dave Anderson, whose name I hadn't heard a ton, but his artwork was like good to great.
It's
too.
Brent Anderson, and guess who pencils the next issue?
Brent Anderson?
He does.
Right. I mean, he's falling out of a friggin' tree and just running into great artists everywhere. Like, so, I mean, you talk about just a fantastic fortune or twist of fate for the X-Men to continually have just fantastic artwork throughout is just, I mean, it's something that will keep a book popular, that's for sure. So I'll leave it there, and then I'll give any other comments in round 2.
All right. Yeah, definitely. The artwork in the inside of this was really nice to look at. And I thought it did it well to tell the story. Let's go ahead and get to round 2. Matt, you got a high, low, or a what the?
I've got another high. I really appreciated all the different vampire aspects being brought into it. I mean, you kind of have to with the story, but they played into, okay, well, your holy trinkets don't work if you don't believe. And Dracula had to be invited in by Storm, even though she was like mind controlled by him. So it just, I always appreciate seeing like the nods to the classic
To the
horror
lore, yeah.
tropes and the classic stories. And it was a wonderful blend with that and the X-Men.
Yeah, definitely. I like that too, of the Dracula, you said, tropes that were there. Kind of, this was like, I guess, since this is a filler, is it a filler? Is it a just getting them trying to get by with something right now? There was still some, storytelling from, the characters' moments on that.
I don't know if I would necessarily. I love these one-off issues, and I get that it can be seen as like filler, but I think modern now we're like set to like it's got to be a 5 or 6 issue story,
5-issue filler,
and then this, and then this, and then this. The one issue story to me is a nice little break.
Yeah, Jason, high, low, or what the?
I'll go with a high on this one. We're obviously still trying to fit in Kitty Pryde's character with the rest of the X-Men team, and it's starting to feel a little bit more of a natural fit. And I like the relationship between Storm and Kitty Pryde. Storm is a kind of a big sister, almost maternal figure for Kitty as she's finding her footing amongst this team. And what initially kind of felt a little bit ham-fisted by Claremont in trying to get her accepted by the readers is starting to feel a little bit more natural. And this comic to me emphasized that a little bit. So I just really like that relationship dynamic with Kitty and the team as a whole, and Storm in particular.
I think you just articulated what I was trying to say there about the character moments in here, and they continued with that story beat of Kitty growing up and everybody kind of how they were treating her and being a part of the team. I like that Claremont continued to do that, even though it's a one-off. Jared, you got a high, low, or a what the for second round?
Just a high. I just love I mentioned I love how the bonkersness of fighting Dracula. It was a fun break, kind of what Matt was saying, like because it was a lot. Like we've been doing a lot,
yeah,
with Deathbird and Shi'ar and the Brood, and there's a lot going on, and it was nice to downshift, and I was excited about it, but I just wanted to shift that over to kind of what Delvin mentioned already too, just that Sienkiewicz art. He's playing it quote unquote straight for Sienkiewicz on this, not going off the reservation, and it's really gorgeous, especially his vampire stuff. I think we have to give a nod to Bob Wycheck, because can you imagine being like the anchor on a guy like Sienkiewicz? It's like trying to ride a bull, I imagine, sometimes. And what's weird is if you go through the whole book, there's only one like very like Sienkiewicz-y panel while Storm is like transitioning and sweating, and then there's like this, he does like this, it's on the bottom left of that page, you'll know it when you see it. He does a very artsy thing, but all the rest of it is done like straight laced, and it does remind you of what this incredibly talented guy can do, whether he's in the framework that they need him to be, or if he's being all in on his Sienkiewicz-ness. Just really neat to see what he can do in these early years. So yeah, it was a treat. I'm always complaining about X-Men, so I'll wrap up to say I was looking forward to it because we saw Dracula advertised last time. I got that. Wish I could have got a little bit more, but it was neat to see Sienkiewicz art in this form. So that it snowballed into this was a treat of an issue for me.
All right. Delvin, you got a high, low, or a what the?
I'm going to end with a high. Very quickly, just Ryan Daly was singing the praises of Tomb of Dracula, said, if you've never read it, get your lives in order and read it. My life apparently is not in order because I have not read it, but I digress. Auburn Elvis says, apparently Dracula tries to get Storm one more time in X-Men Annual 6, which I have not read myself. So my life just clearly is not in order. I'll reflect on that later, but I loved the book. Like, I thought that, I bought the explanation of it, even at the end, because at least my understanding of how the vampirism works, I mean, she was bitten by Lord Dracula. Lord Dracula has every ability to say, okay, if you don't want to be a vampire, then okay, I'll take it away. Like, that's my understanding of it. So, like, because it's not like she was bitten by a lesser vampire. She was bitten by Lord Dracula. And so she resisted the call of it. And he even said, kind of like similar to what Dr. Doom did a couple of issues back, where Dr. Doom was like, you are just freaking magnificent. And you could be my queen any day. Lord Dracula just said the same thing. And it speaks to the awesomeness of Aurora Monroe. And it also spoke to her power, that I appreciated the beats between Kitty and Aurora, where Kitty's like, well, I can't fight you, but like I'm dropping any weapon. Like, if you want to kill me, then kill me. And they have shown clearly throughout their relationship that Aurora loves her. She dotes on her. It's like she calls her kitten, for Pete's sake, And it's not like some affected thing. It's not like she's saying it derisively. She means it as a pet name, because she truly does love her, and that did win the day. Like, I completely bought into that. I really did, as a story beat and as a reason that Aurora was able to resist the call of being a vampire. They sort of had a similar beat, speaking of Spider-Man, by the way, Miles Morales' Spider-Man, where he was bitten by a vampire. They did a whole bit where the vampires basically took over the world recently. And he still had to, he had to go through an entire thing because he was bitten by a lesser vampire, that he had to go to the Panther God, whose name I'm going to blank on right now. But but Black Panther basically got him in front of the Panther God to get him to take away the curse. You have to have some powerful entity that takes away the whole curse of Dracula. But in this case, the out was Auburn Elvis just helped me out, said it's Bast. And you have to have some powerful god, or at least at Dracula's level or above, to take away the curse of vampirism. So one more comment by Auburn Elvis says, according to Marvel, Dracula is the second most powerful vampire. The most powerful is the ancient Atlantean sorcerer Varney, who was the first vampire transformed by the Darkhold. So we're learning some vampirism stuff there. So she was bitten at least by the second highest level vampire. I don't know if Varney existed back when this book came out or not. So that's all I got, Pat.
Very cool. With that, I think, does anybody have any other thing to add for this issue? Want to thank Auburn Elvis and Ryan for those comments, a little history, more tips from the chat. And we like to definitely see that and learn a lot more. And side note there, maybe Crusade Miss next year, Ryan. I might look you up so we can get some Tomb of Dracula in. Ooh, that would be cool. I don't think we've covered that yet on a Crusade Miss. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and find out who went the extra mile for this issue. Could be a couple people in this one, but we'll find out. Matt, who do you have going the extra mile for this issue?
For me, the extra mile in this one was Kitty Van Helsing. Full on vampire hunter, throwing everything on and going at it. She didn't care. Normally, I'm not like a big Kitty Pryde fan, but I really appreciated her in this issue and what they accomplished. So she definitely went the extra mile to me.
Yeah, it's Claremont, I think, pulling out that things he has done with Kitty before, where we have that swashbuckling Kitty and all that fantasy kind of stuff. So I like that they kind of continue her childlike. Well, I don't want to say childlike, but I just like that she's trying to do some zeitgeisty or just some stuff like that. Jason, who went the extra mile for you?
Well, I was leaning towards Kitty myself, but for variety's sake, I'll go with Storm. I think Storm had a personal journey in this one where all the odds were stacked against her. It was her will against the second most powerful vampire in the Marvel Universe, and Storm prevailed with some help from Kitty. But at the end of the day, it was Storm that shrugged off that vampiric spell and will not be controlled.
Jarrett, who went the extra mile for you?
Same person that got me excited about reading an X-Men book, Pat. Dracula, man. Dracula.
Oh.
I'm just so excited to see him in the book, and it makes it so much more fun to bring him in to play with a team like the X-Men. And he's so baller and powerful that, I mean, he's up against the X-Men, and then he's like, I got other things to do.
Yeah, I'm out.
There's other things I got. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Dracula just because,
Right.
it was exciting to see him in the book and give it a real neat change of pace that, I love.
Mm-hmm. Delvin, who went the extra mile for you?
I'm good with Kitty as well. Like, she spotted the problem right away. She's like, the idea that Dracula attacked Storm was just a little bit a bridge too far for even the X-Men to even, they're like, come on. Because even when they sort of found out, even Wolverine was like, come on.
Yeah.
So, like, and if Wolverine was like that, then the rest of the team wouldn't have believed her. So I give her a ton of credit for doing that, and then just being absolutely brave in the face of literal mortal danger.
I agree with you guys as well with Kitty on this one for me. One quick question. If Dracula sucks her Aurora's blood and that's mutantness in it, does it give him more power?
Definitely confuses him.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take this opportunity to tell a quasi-related story. I had an issue from the early 2000s where Dracula, or if they call him Dracula in the DC universe, I'm not sure. He's a public domain character, but he bit Superman because Superman is weak to magic, so he can actually pierce the skin and bite him. And does anybody remember what happened to Dracula when he did that?
Oh, the sun.
Superman's blood stores solar energy, so it killed him.
Oh no.
It was pure solar energy, and he was like, I'm dead. So that was just reminded me of that, Pat. Now you have to leave that stupid stuff into the show when you edit it. But didn't he say that it tasted different?
Yeah,
or
there was all that. That's what I was wondering. Like, is it giving them these extra powers now? Is it enhancing something? Would like to see, and maybe things change. I don't know.
Yeah, he was able to control lightning. I don't remember that from.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. Tales. Did he get some powers from her then?
That's cool.
Yeah, he was like basically sending ever-ending lightning. It
was Nightcrawler. I remember now. Yeah, so I think Jason's onto something. I think he did get a little something from that because he's never done that in any other format.
I don't know. I found that interesting, just as a villain to do, and get that kind of and you go for her, who's like a Omega level, or she's a high mutant, man.
So would Dracula be like the prototype Mr. Sinister, taking all the mutants' blood and getting their powers and stuff?
Could be, definitely be. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to the ratings for this issue. Again, it is a 1 through 5 rating. 5 is you loved it. It gave you a ring to swing from.
Woo.
4, you really liked it.
Woo.
3, liked it.
Woo.
2, didn't like it.
Mm-mm.
And 1, you hated it. It turned you into a baby. Matt, where do you rate this issue?
Like I said, you guys gave me a couple winners this episode. This one is a 5 all day long for me. You've got horror, you've got X-Men, you got Dracula, you got a single self-contained issue. Sold.
All right, man. I figured you would like the horror side of it. Jason, 1 through 5.
You know, when I came in here, I was set to give this a 3, but you guys have swayed me. I'm going to bump this up to a 4. Matt's enthusiasm for the book really swayed me as well. And if I'm thinking about it fairly, I read this one back to back with the Amazing Spider-Man one we just talked about, and I think that it was like I'm reading Spider-Man lore, and then I kind of get an X-Men filler issue, and that kind of, maybe I should have spaced that out a little bit. But yeah, you all brought up some good points. There's a lot of great stuff in this book. It's a lot of fun. Sienkiewicz is reining himself in, or the editors are reining him in, whatever. It's pleasing to look at. 4 from me.
Jared, are you 5, 4, or somewhere else? Oh, you're on mute.
That's weird. I'm going to go 4. I'm with Jason on that. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Delvin, where are you at?
I'm actually with Matt, and that was one of the things I was kind of surprised about, especially from Jared, because, like, particularly given the last few issues of Uncanny X-Men, this was a brisk read.
It was
a brisk read, and like I didn't see it like, while it's filler, kind of like it wasn't, because, like, you know, I mean, you got your story beats going on with Havoc and Cyclops and Corsair. And they mentioned that you've got Xavier still in a coma. So, I mean, they at least kept the storyline still going. And then consider that even if it is filler, they fought Dracula. This wasn't like, you know, they played baseball or something like that. And it's like, well, Kitty Pryde's still third base. Who cares? Like, no, Dracula. Like, okay. And like, so, and I was seriously wondering at the end, how in the heck, you know, Storm was going to get out of this whole predicament that she was in. So I was like, you know, leaned in, intrigued. So I'll give it a 5. I really did enjoy the book.
All right. Well, that just leaves me. And I know why Jared chose the number he did, because he wanted to be on Team Cool Guys.
Yeah, clearly.
Exactly. I'm giving it a 4. I liked it. There was more going on. I liked the character moments. It was a plain, you know, kind of a Dracula story, so the beats were kind of there, but it put it together really good for me. And I think with that, let's go ahead and bring it to this end for this part of the show. You got a comment or a question, you can call us and leave us a voicemail that we'll play later on in the show. Leave a message at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the steak
And the garlic.
We'll be right back. All right.
What I want to know, is there like ever a team up issue of all these villains who are like, you know who I like? I like Storm. Me too. What? So like, is like a big team up, or is it like a big giant battle mess of villains who are like, no, she's mine?
Be like Dr. Doom, Dracula, and Jared all fighting.
That'd be an interesting remix of That Girl Is Mine, you know.
Yeah.
Talking about Aurora.
The girl is mine.
I'm trying to bring up the script so I can read. This is 86. I'll take care of it, because
Okay, think you're done.
Yeah, my wrap it up music is playing over here, son. I'm ready to get this done, y'all. Because I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. Starting 3, 2, wait, one real quick. Matt, do you have the script up? Are you reading along with us?
I do. I'm good, sir.
All right, we're gonna go clockwise. So you're gonna be first up, Matt. When we start back in 3, 2, and welcome back from the break. Now let's get to the feedback part of the show, where we share your comments, emails, questions, and shares in the segment called Crusader Comments, We are thrilled to kick off these comments with special shout outs to our Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks that have joined our crusade. They enjoy early access to special Longbox episodes, voting to help determine show content, and so much more, like, I don't know, being a part of the show. So these are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. Wright.
And Helica Wolf. Oh.
Auburn Elvis.
Bill Beer.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood.
Carrie.
Captain Robeson.
Captain Robeson?
Oh, sorry. Clinton Robeson.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins, the Battle Wagon.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porter.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
George Meal.
Gerald Green.
Heinz K.
James Hibden.
Django Unfettered.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Polier.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jarman. I hope you like Jim Jarman too.
Jim Meal.
Joe Man Conan.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Captivating Kathy Bright, the MVP. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
I mean, we forgot other folks joining us in the chat, like Heinz K, who? Let's see, there's someone else, Angelica Fetty Wolf, Auburn Elvis, and joining us here on the show, Matt and Lissy Paso. Well, Matt Paso at least. I'm sure Lissy's here in spirit.
She's floating around somewhere. Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traver.
Michael Minton.
Lost my spot. Miranda W.
P.D. Devins.
Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Ronald Easterday.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And the Toronto Cop.
If we missed anyone on our list, we apologize. Keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you're a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. But no worries. Let us know that we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com and we will get it straightened out. As a reminder, you can become a Crusaders Club member by heading over to patreon.com/longboxcrusade. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come check it out. Don't have any extra scratch lying around, but still want to help us out here at LBC headquarters? Please take a moment to write a review wherever you listen to this podcast. Even if you just want to keep it short with just star ratings, it helps raise the profile of the show, and we will share your review on the next show. We're going to talk about some show. Like Sean's ghost out here was inhabiting my body for a second.
Yes.
We will move on to social media shares and retweets from Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles episode 82 from December 1981, where we discussed Amazing Spider-Man 226 and Uncanny X-Men 155. Start us off, Matt, please.
Nope, you're on mute.
First was Wacky Bronze, Silver Comic Book Villains at Wacky Comic.
Dave Collins.
Kirk Spencer.
Coffee and Comics.
Jim Meal.
Magazines and Monsters.
And we had one social media comment, and that was from Dave Collins, the Battle Wagon Van Wagon, whichever one you want to call him. He said, As always, I love tagging along. Just don't bet on me when it comes to karma points because I am awful at that game. Don't worry about it, Dave. Basically, the entire team except for me is pretty awful at it, except for Jason, who gets lucky.
Reigning champ.
Otherwise, you can call and leave us a voicemail that we will play on the show. Leave us a message at 707-532-5269. That is 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone and congratulate Jason for the karma count victory.
That was too long. We should delete that. Thank you to everyone for the likes, shares, follows, and comments. We appreciate your friendship and help in spreading the word about this podcast.
And that is the show. Be sure to check out the website, longboxcrusade.com, where posts will be made for journaling this crusade. I want to thank our guest, Matt, for joining us, along with Jared, Jason, and Delvin, and everybody in the live chat. Thank you all for being here with us. But before we go, let's find out where the listeners can find us on the internet. Matt, where can you be found?
You can find me over on Blue Sky under Serpy Matt. Tons of toy pictures, some comic talk, some video games, models, all kind of random stuff.
Jared, where can you be found?
I am at Yard Sale Artist X. Facebook and Instagram is all at Yard Sale Artist. You can also find me at the Dragon Garden Chinese Restaurant in Enterprise, Alabama. Over to Delvin.
You can find me DEERAY1977 on Blue Sky. You can find me at Delvin Ray on Instagram. We'll give it to you anyway, Jason, even though I know you're not on the social medias.
Now just reach out to Jared. He'll tell me if anybody wants to get in touch with me.
He's called the Dragon Garden Restaurant, and then they'll tell me when I get there.
Tell him what you told me. Tell him what
That
you
is
told
not
me.
what
That is not what you told me. Pat, where can you be found?
Well, Devin, I'm glad you asked. You can find me on the X at Christatos01. And if you want to interact with us via live chat and be entered to win some free stuff on our live raffles, go ahead and join us on our next episode of Doing the Live Stream on YouTube, just like this one is. It's the second Sunday of every month at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Check out the Longbox Crusade on YouTube. Make sure you like it, you subscribe to it, and please join us in the comments of our episodes. We'd love to get in some conversations with you there as well. Thank you all for listening, and we hope you have enjoyed this episode of Amazing Spider-Man Chronicles. You got a comment or a question, you can also send us an email at contact@longboxcrusade.com or leave a comment on the Longbox Crusade Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter or X page, all at Longbox Crusade. Until next time, take care, and please join us on the next episode as we continue on the crusade to
Read them all.
Read them all.
Read them all.
We out.
All right. Woo.
Yay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 names.
8 names, and
spoke
I
up.
think I don't think our girl Courtney's here, so we'll defer to the MVP, Captivating Kathy Bright. If you're still with us, would you pick a number between 1 and 8? This will be for the people who are here. And speaking of full runs, you want to be like Delvin, with his full run of Amazing Spider-Man. Whoop! I hit the wrong thing, everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm Delvin.
Full run of Amazing Spider-Man. You are gonna win. Whoever wins this raffle is a full run of Power Lords, as we covered
Nice.
recently on Longbox Crusade. I don't know if the podcast version of that's dropped yet, but we did the live version here. So check out Power Lords. I have 1 through 3. I finished reading them all. It was pretty fun. So especially if you like the 80s toy properties, you might enjoy this. Early Mark Texera art made it even more fun. So 1 through 8. Kathy, if you are here, she picked 1. She picked 5. Delvin.
Diamond in the rough.
Congratulations to Doc Strange.
Doc
Ooh,
Strange.
the
Congratulations.
doctor in the house.
Billy D.
Por extraño.
I recommend checking out the new Power Lords.
Yeah, it
issue
did get a
mini-
revival.
It was really good.
All right.
Her
Yeah,
number's
who picked it?
24 for Crusaders Club, by the way, Jared.
Oh, 24 for Crusaders Club. All right, because we have 52 members. Thank you guys so much for that. Crusaders Club folks are awesome. And while I'm bringing that up, I'll remind the Crusaders Club members that you guys are more than welcome to join us for another live on Wednesday for the super secret live for club members only.
Yeah.
We're doing a Superman book, right? Pat?
Superman book, yep.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing it, yep. Here's
So
what
that's
we're
not
doing.
that's not in the share. We're going to need that, Pat, because I looked in the share.
Yeah,
but
I'll get it. I'll get it out there.
All right, and she said 24.
She did. Equal.
Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 is our main man, Steve Cronin.
Steve Cronin.
Steve Cronin. Oh, I didn't tell you guys what he's going to
I was
win.
gonna say, what'd you get? What'd you
I
get?
got a double 4-pack of DVDs. All right.
Big
So
deal.
4-pack number 1, he's going to enjoy some classic Holmes with Rathbone and Bruce. He gets 4 movies. He gets Terror by Night, Secret Weapon, Woman in Green, Dressed to Kill. And then the other 4-pack, I don't need to explain. It's the Ninja Turtles movie 4-pack. So Holmes and Turtles, if this is not a crossover that needs to happen, by the way, people. So Holmes and Turtles DVDs for Steve Cronin. And as a reminder, he gets that without having to be here because he's a Crusaders Club member. We'd love for you guys to join for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/Longbox Crusade.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, we love Steve.
Yeah,
Probably
Steve
run
awesome.
into him. We run into him a lot in Charlotte. So we
In
may
Heroes
see him
Con,
there.
yeah. It's always great to see Steve at Heroes Con.
All right, I'll do a quick coming up thing, and if anybody else got anything, be thinking about that, and then we'll bounce. I already mentioned that we have. Before I even jump to that, just a reminder, we do the second Sunday of every month. Next month is May, which is the Mother's Day, so we'll be third Sunday in it. We'll be third Sunday in it next month instead of second Sunday. And our upcoming schedule is, if I don't look in June and I look in April, there we go. We do have the live recording for Longbox Crusade episode 52 for Adventures of Superman 491. Yep. Adventures of Superman 491 on Wednesday. So a lot of you people in the chat are club members anyway, so we'd love to see you. We'll talk Superman. And Jason and I have Action Film Face Off. Give you a bit of a hint. It's a John Cloud Van Damme double feature coming up on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. I watched mine last night. That was good.
Yes, sir. And then next week, we're doing another Crusade Miss, and we're doing a new Saturday matinee theater with Zorro. Unfortunately, those are all secret. And I think, looking at the calendar, it looks like Kathleen's got a Longbox Crusade, Jeremy Brett, Irregulars Holmes thing going on next week. So
there we go. Awesome.
And of course, Venkman staying on top of the cartoons. There was an episode of the 87 Ninja Turtles cartoon where they went back in time and met Holmes and Watson.
Oh,
cool.
Oh, there you go. It happened.
It comes there.
It happened.
There you go.
There's Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Hey! We got Courtney just as we're about to leave. That's, I think, it for me. Pat, I'll pass it back to you to close out, or we can freeze, act frozen, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll just say, another chance there to become a Crusaders Club member. We have weekly questions that we put out there. Love seeing the comment by the Crusader Club people that are in there, getting that kind of talking back with each other and excitement that's going on there. So go ahead and check that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun time. But with that, I think appreciate everybody for being here. Everybody watching live, thank you so much for everybody. It was cool to see everybody that is either on X, Facebook, or out on YouTube here joining us as well. So thank you. And with that, let's act frozen, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, hit the button.